Apollo Creed is, loosely off of Muhammad Ali, so we kind of kept that always in the genetic bank of like, you know, like how Adonis might fight a little bit like his dad, so there's a little bit of that, fun fan fiction, you know what I'm saying, in that. But then, Adonis when we were young, when he was younger, we thought about Sweet Pea, and also Timothy Bradley. Those are two of the characters right around Creed 1. We kind of like, took, you know, uh, little stylistic moves from. Uh, so that was interesting to kind of like play with as a core. But then we started to just, develop Adonis for Adonis, and we didn't really pull from anywhere. How would Adonis be fighting if he was a little bit insecure in places, but had a hell of a lot to prove? How many risks would he be willing to take in the ring? How much, how many times would he be willing to get punched? How much damage is he willing to take, in order to deliver damage? Then that started to play into strategy and what kind of how that affected the choreo in a lot of different ways, depending on where he was in his life, how secure he was with his relationship with his, with his wife or with his mom and the people that he cared about in his life. So all those things played a factor in how he fought. For Damian Anderson in this one, we pulled a lot from, Bernard Hopkins. We pulled a lot from Joe Frazier. For him, more brawlers than boxers a little bit. But historically, when it pertains just to characters in boxing, those were kind of like the major ones from from this one. And obviously, we've worked with other real boxers, so they were, they were pulling from themselves. Well, starting with Tessa, she's been here from day one, every step of the way. So we've had so many conversations and moments where we talked about where we are personally in our lives, but then also where our characters are and where they would be at this point in the story. She brings a sense of care and comfort to me personally, and I think by way of the character is also supporting and being there for Adonis as well. Her being a very talented musician and artist, and how she's been dealing with her own illness and hearing disability, and being able to reinvent herself as time moves on, as things progress, and not losing herself in support in the journey of Adonis Creed, was really important for us throughout this franchise. That Bianca was seen and heard and fully present in her own, agency. That was really, really important for us to hold true to. I think Tessa brings a humanity to that and a nurturing nature to it that I think makes Adonis feel stronger, more powerful, because he has this support system that cares so much about him. And Bianca embodies just that. Amara represents, the next generation. This boxing has always been about fathers and sons, fathers and sons, fathers and sons. And, I wanted to explore what it was like for fathers and daughters. Apollo Creed was Muhammad Ali. Having a daughter, Layla Ali, pro boxer, wanting to see what that would look like, as far as where the franchise was going and what that felt like in the story, And that time really made me appreciate, maybe having a daughter one day, and so that kind of poured into the story and the emotion and the feeling. So having a young queen in Amara also teach Adonis things. Make him a better man, a better father, a better husband, was something that we wanted to show. That being a girl dad is cool. Astor Gates, incredible artist, activist, humanitarian, created these paintings off of recycled fire hoses, firefighter hoses from the civil rights movement. And I thought that was a powerful statement. piece of art. It was incredible. And unpacking that, one of the motifs for Adonis Creed is the American flag, and I think it was at a time where, America was in turmoil, you know, uh, from the top down. And that flag started to become the imagery of something else, and it meant something different to me. And it felt different, at that time, So I wanted to take something that was true to a character, and how do we reinvent it in a way to give some of that passion back to it? How do we restore that meaning back to this flag? And it's almost like we needed a reset. That's why my shorts are all white. I wanted a reset, the American flag to be reset. And then with the robe, I wanted to blend, you know what I'm saying? American flag, African-American flag, Pan-African flag. I wanted to put them all together, and what that felt like. So it was inspired by the ropes. By the ropes, it was inspired by the hoses of Theaster Gates. And Liz Wolfe, our incredible costume designer, we collaborated on it, and we came up with something that was very, very powerful, you have the American flag, in the front where you can see clearly, but it blends into red, black, and green as well on the back. So it's this, all one, we're all together, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was, something very powerful and very on par with where Adonis was. So I feel like the Hispanic community is boxing, like legit, and we haven't seen, a character, representing, Mexico or any Latin, groups, Hispanic groups. Like we haven't seen that, at all. So I felt like it was just us, I don't know, being realistic, and and a lot of these rivals and these challenges and these famous boxers, like these rivalries exist. It's one of the most exciting fighters and fights that's happened in boxing history. So I wanted to kind of create that, in our franchise as well. So, Jose Benavidez, did a phenomenal job. And Felix as a character, I think, represents a lot of fighters out there that were given opportunities and chances. And executed off of those, you know what I'm saying, and became world champ, you know what I'm saying? So I thought that was a great thing to see, and hopefully people tap into it, want to see more of them. I think this is a movie to see it on the big screen because, I think there's so many things in our movie that will feel and look better on, in the movie theater. You know what I'm saying? Like the fights, the action, you want to see that up close and personal. You want to feel, every punch. You want to hear every, impact, every drip of sweat, drop of blood that's coming out, off of our bodies in this fight. I think the big screen just lends itself to that, to the scope of the movie. I think this is a movie that will, make you laugh, cry, cheer, sad. It's a four-quadrant film. You learn things about a character that you thought you knew a lot about. So it's an education. And I want you to, walk away feeling good. This is a movie that I want you to go home and think, man, that was a ride, and also reflect inward on yourself and, how can you be better,